Nearly 13 years after its release, Portal 2 continues to hold up graphically, narratively and mechanically as one of the best games ever created. And you might be wondering to yourself, why is that? Why is a game that is 13 years old still alive to this day? Well, sit with me and I'm going to take this time to tell you why. So before we talk about Portal 2, let's just go back in time to how it all began. When Valve released Portal in 2007 as a surprise launch alongside the Orange Box, it received widespread critical acclaim for its innovation in level design, intricately designed puzzles, and simplicity in its mechanics. It was also noted for its use of environmental storytelling and its narrative that was guided by two key characters. Our silent protagonist, known only as Chell, and the genetic life and disk operating system, also known as GLaDOS. This was a giant robot that oversaw our progression within the mysterious Aperture laboratories, and we were only guided by our brains and the Aperture Science handheld portal device. For some, it was a match made in heaven, and for others, well, it was known as Android Hell. Portal sweeps the awards, and this was enough for Valve to announce something very special at E3 in 2010.
Our next guest has spent the better part of a decade developing some of the most critically acclaimed franchises, and we're really pleased to welcome to the stage for the first time.
Stand by for an important announcement from the Aperture Science Emergency Supply System. Deploying surprise in 3, 2, 1.
And on April the 18th, 2011, Portal 2 was released to the world. That not only was considered to be one of the greatest games ever created, but a vast improvement over its predecessor. You see, in Portal 2, they went all in with the narrative elements in terms of the environmental narrative, so the things the player will see around them, how that tells a story, and also the narrative given by its characters. Not only with the introduction of Wheatley, voiced by Stephen Merchant, but the return of the two iconic characters from the first game, GLaDOS and Chell. But along with one other surprise introduction was also Cave Johnson, voiced by J.K. Simmons. Yeah, that's right, J. Jonah Jameson actually is in Portal 2, so that gives you another reason to love this game. So let's talk about how Portal 2 plays. Well, fundamentally, it plays very similar to its predecessor. You have the portal gun and you use it to solve puzzles, but however they remix some of the puzzles that players knew from the first game alongside building upon it to create new ones. And they also go into kind of showing you the history of Aperture Science, and you get one of the most incredible vocal performances from J.K. Simmons. He is incredible as Cave Johnson. He generally just, I don't think you could have got anyone else to play him. And then you have Wheatley being voiced by Stephen Merchant, and what he delivers to this character is something that is a character that is very, not complex, but also he's very secretive almost. You see, first you see him as a friend, but then you gradually see his intentions, and he kind of switches. He's like in and out of being friendly to being aggressive to being very malicious. It's almost like a character that thinks he's doing it the right way when he's doing it the wrong way. Well, minus the fact that he then tries to kill you at the end, but we move forward. But the biggest upgrade to Portal was the fact they introduced multiplayer. They introduced a cooperative experience to Portal, and what you had was an experience that was just full of chaos, fun, and teamwork. And in a lot of modern games, that's something that's not often pushed as proper. You know, a lot of modern cooperative games push less on teamwork and more about completing the objective. But Portal 2 blends all three of these elements expertly, but also the way that they handle the interactions between GLaDOS guiding you across the different maps to you playing robots themselves, Atlas and Peabody. It's just a good slapstick experience. It's just a slapstick comedy in a game that usually has quite a dark narrative behind it. You have an incredible soundtrack, an incredibly dedicated community that wants to create mods for the long term in the future, and you have one of the most replayable stories ever created. That is what makes a game fun and replayable. It keeps players engaged, and it keeps players just kind of on the edge for more. Now, unfortunately, we have not received Portal 3 yet. I hope we receive Portal 3 because, hey, look, if Valve's back to making games again, even the writers have said they want to do it. If I was Valve, I'd just be giving them the thumbs up, but that's just me. But I hope you guys have a great day. You guys take care of yourself. Love yourself. Have a good one.